MyFitnessPal is the app that I recommend to people to use. It's free. There's other ones too. I actually use another one called Carbon, but that one you have to pay for. So if you're not interested in that, just do MyFitnessPal, and I'm going to take you through that right now and show you how to set it up, how you can track all of your stuff, and get started from there. So now we're in MyFitnessPal. Okay, so hopefully you already have that up. You're all signed in. Get that all set up for yourself. Create an account, everything. Next step we're going to do, hit More at the bottom right corner. Then I'm going to go to Goals. From there, we're going to put in our current weight, which it probably would already have you do this if you just create an account, but if not, you can just go in here and do it. So we'll just say, let's use our 200-pound example again. 200 pounds set. And we'll put our goal weight. We're going to stick with that 20 pounds as our goal weight. 180. And then you can put your weekly goal. So I want you to stick with the 1 pound per week that it's giving you. It will let you go even higher if you want. You can see there's a 2 pound per week, or there's even less. Just choose the lose 1 pound per week. That works out pretty good. Then from there, we need to set your activity level. So for most people, it's probably going to be in the lightly active. Even if you do daily workouts, I find that their calculations are just a little bit off. So I feel like you usually have to put lightly active to make this a little bit more accurate. And if you need to adjust as you go through, you will. Like, let's say you're losing too much weight or you're not losing weight, then you can adjust this later on. So we have that set. Next, we're going to look at the nutrition goals. So we're going to hit that tab that says calories, carbs, protein, and fat goals. We click on that. It's already calculated my calorie goal for me right there. So it says 2,110 calories. And that seems close enough. That's going to give you a good estimate. Like I said, from there, let's say you do this for a month and you're either like really low on energy or you're losing too much weight or not losing enough. You can go in and edit this and kind of change your calories. And if you feel like you need to do that, just send me a message and I'll help you set that up. I'm going to leave that for now though. Then what we want to change are these macro percentages. The most important one, in my opinion, is protein. So we're going to set the protein as high as we are allowed to. So you set that to 35% protein. That's also a lot higher than most people realize too. So 35% protein, we're going to drop the carbs down to 45%, and then our fat will fall at 20%. So we get our 100% total. Hit the check mark there, make sure it all updates. Sometimes it won't update, so you have to do it again. Just make sure that all changes. Hit our back arrow in the top left corner, back left, or back again. Then we're going to go to diary. So it's that second one down at the bottom, second into the right. Hit diary. And this is where you can start putting in your food. So let's just do some examples. Let's say you have for breakfast, you have eggs. We'll say you have 3 eggs. So you can see your serving size is automatically 1 egg. We leave that. Say you had 3 eggs, you can change it, if you have 4, 2, whatever. We'll put 3 for now. Check mark right up at the top right corner. So we have eggs, and let's say you have some toast too. So we'll just put some bread in there. We'll use this Dave's Killer Bread here. Let's say you have, so you can see the serving size is 1 slice right now. We hit the number of servings is at 2, and we use 2. You can see, so that's how you put in your meals, and I'm not going to go through and do the whole thing, so it'll make the video too long, but you can put in all of this data, and then it's going to spit you back, and you can see at the top how many calories you have eaten, how many are remaining. And that's part of the equation here, but next we have to look at those macros, those macronutrients, your protein, your carbs, and your fat. So you can see the first one listed is protein. So far I've had 30 on that, and I need to get 155 more to reach my 185 gram total. That's always going to be the hardest part for you. It's getting that protein in. So usually people have to take a supplement. So you have to take some protein powder. Like I always recommend whey protein. If you don't, if you're vegan or if you don't like whey protein for some reason, you can always get any other one. Get a vegetable protein like pea protein or something like that, and that's perfectly fine. Egg white protein is also another good one. A little bit harder to find though. So hit all your goals there. You really want to just reach the goal. If you go over in protein, that's okay. Just don't want to go under. Then carbohydrates again. So I had 34 at breakfast, let's say, and then I need 203 more. Then you can skip, for now at least, you can skip the fiber and the sugar. and just go right to fat because we're just focusing on those first three things. Those are the most important. And then we're trying to get up to 47 grams of fat. That's going to be another hard one usually because a lot of things that we eat have a lot of fat. It's kind of hard to keep that low. So another thing that you can do is your fats and carbs are kind of interchangeable. So let's say one day you go, if you're supposed to hit 47 grams of fat, but you go to 60. All you really need to do then is just take away some carbs. So it might be like at 200 grams of carbs rather than 237, and that's okay. So as long as your calories equal the 2100 and you're hitting your protein goal, that should work. And most days you want to try to aim for this to stick where it's supposed to be, but it's okay if some days those carbs and fats are a little high or low, as long as the calories hit the goal. But one other thing that you probably will need to change, you can see up at the top, there's the goal calories minus food plus exercise. I like to turn off the exercise calories because I don't think that's very accurate. Sometimes I might burn 600 calories in a workout. I don't necessarily need to eat all 600 of those calories to make it up. So I just like to get rid of that. So it says I burned 227. Sometimes it will automatically get put in depending on what device you track your exercise with. So all you're going to do is just swipe left on that and hit delete. Just get rid of it. So that you might have to do this. So it's a little extra step, but it's really not that big of a deal. So that's the basics of MyFitnessPal and counting your macros, counting your calories. The other part of that though is you may need to get a little bit better at measuring your food. So a lot of people underestimate or overestimate how much food they're actually eating. So what I like to do every once in a while, I like to take a week where I just measure everything the whole week long. And especially starting off, that's a good thing to do. Because even for me, so I may measure for a week and then I stop measuring, for a few months. And then over time, you kind of get a little distorted view. So you just have to go back and remind yourself. So do a little bit of measurements. For meat, you might have to have a scale. If you don't have a scale, general rule of thumb is let's say you have a piece of meat that's the size of a deck of cards. So same thickness and same width. That's about 3 ounces. So that's what you can use if you don't have a scale to measure your meat or protein portions. Otherwise, you can use cups for a lot of things or ounces. So next thing, if you want, you can also link this up with our app, it'll either say your Trainer Eyes app or Fresh Focus Fitness app. So we're going to go to the bottom right corner, those 3 dots, scroll down to Connect section, and then you see MyFitnessPal. Click on that, and we're going to connect. It's going to take you to the login screen. So from there, you're going to type in your email and password. Okay, so we're signed in, we hit done. We're going to open. Now my app is connected. We'll go back to here. It should start to show up your caloric intake and things. It probably just takes a second, so that's why it hasn't shown up. You don't really have to sync these two together, but if you ever do have any questions, it'll be a lot easier for me to see that when you ask your questions. I can just go in there and check rather than you having to screenshot or do anything like that. So that's it for week 1. Our health focus is dieting do's and don'ts. So basically the do is that you need to look long term. That's really what I want your main takeaway to be. And I hope that after these 8 weeks of this challenge, you can take something away from it, and that is part of it. I want you to have a healthy life long term. Don't look at doing, dieting, crash dieting, try to lose 30 pounds all at once, and then you just gain it all back. Take a step back, think long term, think 20 years down the road if you can. See what you want to be, where you want to be, and just remember that it's a slow process. You don't want to be the person that loses 20 pounds, gains 30, loses 20, gains 30. You just want to lose a pound, lose a pound, lose a pound. Maybe you stay the same for a little while, lose a pound, lose a pound. That's going to add up in the long run.